your head up, you ain't gon' believe this. It's your boy Squint talking that shit. Go and tell him what it is. Just a man and his podcast. Thank you all for tuning in. One by one, it's a tag match. Either way for me, cause I'ma make the blood bad. TST, make you see stars when I throw hands. Keep on spitting bars after bars, like the cage, man. I'ma get the Hardy Boys off the ropes, make it rain, man. You ain't seen a goddamn thing. You get it? You keep on talking shit and the referee count your digits. That's that 1, 2, 3. When he finally get up, he can't say his fucking ABCs. Look, pick your head up, you ain't gon' believe this. It's your boy Squint talking that shit. Go and tell him what it is. Just a man and his podcast. Thank you all for tuning in. One by one, it's a tag match. Either way for me, cause I'ma make a blood bad. TST, make you see stars when I throw hands. Keep on spitting bars after bars, like the cage, man.
What's up, you guys? It's your boy Squincy with another episode of A Man and His Podcast. Today I have a very special guest. Introduce yourself.
It's technically Camera Guy Gimmick, but everybody calls me Camera Guy Nick, so whatever you want. Camera Guy Nick is what I am today.
I did not know what to put on the graphic or what to put for the title, so I just have it saying...
You're not the only one. It's literally like... Pretty much all the boys call me Camera Guy Nick, but then everybody on like social media says Camera Guy Gimmick.
It's funny you say that because last week at Dreamwave I texted Alex. I was like, hey, do you know if Camera Guy Nick's going to be here? And it's just funny. That's just how I know who you are.
Exactly. I mean, Gimmick and Nick is pretty close, so it's okay.
So my first question, it comes from a friend of mine, Lindsay. She's a local photographer. And she just wants to know the following questions. Let me pull them up. She wanted to ask what equipment you use specifically, and what do you recommend?
So specifically, I use a Sony A7 IV-R, with a. I actually got it right next. This is where the magic happens. This is how the magic happens. So I have a Sony 5R with a Tamron lens. This one specifically is a 35 to 150 millimeter. Most ringside photographers and or videographers in wrestling, I would say don't use a lens that's this big. It's pretty uncommon. Just because this gets a tighter shot. It's obviously bigger. A popular one is like 14 to 35 or 14 to 50, something in that range, because it has a wider you're able to get more of the ring with smaller lens. So I specifically use that, but that's just how my style is. That's how I like to shoot.
And then how did you get into wrestling? Like, how did you get into doing photography for professional wrestling?
So I was leaving a StarCast in 2019, like before the first All Out. It was before the first All Out. And I walked outside and I seen Steve from Warrior Wrestling. Shout out to Steve. And he was handing out flyers for what was at the time, I believe, Warrior Wrestling 6. I looked at the flyer, not really thinking anything of it. At that time, I was doing concert photography mainly at House of Blues. I had an internship there. in Chicago. So it never crossed my mind to get into wrestling. I was always a fan literally since I could remember. I grew up a fan watching WWE, WWF, and I just seen names on the flyer that I knew, so it kind of prompted me to turn around and be like, "Hey, do you guys need help tomorrow?" Because it happened to be the next day, which is why they were handing out flyers at the Starcast to promote the event. So he was like, "Yeah." So that was my first wrestling show, and I forgot, like, the main event was like Brian Cage and Michael Elgin, and like there were all these huge indie guys that I had no idea who they were.
That's crazy. So you weren't like familiar with the indies?
No, dude. So like it's kind of crazy, right? So my first introduction to indie wrestling was technically AEW. I knew what it was. Like, it's not like I didn't know that it was there. When I was like I just turned 30. So like in 1990, the late 90s and the early 2000s, before Ring of Honor like was a thing, there was only like ECW, and that was hard to watch unless like you traded tapes and shit like that. So I just didn't necessarily care that much to find anything besides WWF because I had my guys. Like I had Billy Gunn and Shawn Michaels, Jeff Hardy, all these cool guys that I like to watch. And like I knew WCW was a thing because my brother had the video games. I just didn't like it. So when AEW came around, I was like, wow, look at all these fresh faces I've never seen before. They're doing things I've never seen. Upon them debuting and starting like Fighter Fest and Fight for Fun before they did TV, I did a deep dive on all those guys like Darby and Jungle Boy and blah blah blah. So I did a whole PWG purge and a Ring of Honor purge. So now I know, but at the time I was introduced into wrestling, I had absolutely no idea.
So then, how did you get into videography? Because you're somewhat new to doing videography, aren't you?
No, so I actually the whole reason I picked up a camera was to do music videos, which was like back in 2016, probably 2017. I was like very involved in that SoundCloud era. Like I knew a lot of people that booked shows and stuff like that. Um, like Lyrical Lemonade is a really popular one that came from Chicago, and he's like Cole Bennett's on the Forbes list now. He's like a millionaire. But anyway, I knew a guy that did music videos, and I was always good with Photoshop and computers in general. And I would watch him edit these videos, and I'm like, dude, I could do this. So I bought a camera, basically for that reason, like with no experience at all. And yeah. So it's not new to me. I just kind of, it's like full circle. I'm just coming back to it.
So what made you want to start doing videography for wrestling? Just you had the equipment and you wanted to just.
Yeah, honestly, I just kind of like was burnt out, I think, from doing photography for wrestling specifically. I mean, I'll still do it like for New Japan, obviously, if they hit me up and they need it. It's like, or I just did photography yesterday for Deadlock. So there's like certain promotions that want me to do that, and I'll do it because I respect them and I take care of them and they take care of me. But it's just like I was talking to Connor Hopkins yesterday. Shout out to Connor. Love that guy. He made a pretty good point, which I'm not the kind of guy to I don't talk about myself a lot, but we were talking about this, and he told me like I have a way higher ceiling in videography, which is true. Like it's more engaging. People will spend more time watching a video than looking at a picture. It's easier for me, honestly, like to editing wise, it saves me time. And that's just the way the world's going. Like you go on Instagram now, you're gonna see a reel more or less than a post. You know, like TikTok is taking over this whole social media thing to where now the short reels or clips or videos are pretty much the way that things are gonna go moving forward. So I might as well just do it now.
No, definitely, definitely. So you said you grew up as a wrestling fan. Did you ever want to be like a wrestler or anything else in wrestling?
I never I never had the itch to like be a wrestler. I mean, yeah, I would do backyard wrestling with my brother and my stuffed animals and shit like that, but I never actually thought about it or that I could do it. I was very removed from wrestling for a while. Right before I got into high school was like the Cena era. It was like 2000. I graduated in 2013, so yeah, like 2009. I was done. Like now, I love Cena, but man, at the time, I was fucking done. I was fucking absolutely done. And so I would watch TNA from time to time or whatever, but I pretty much removed myself all the way up until about 2017 when Goldberg came back, and then I started to watch again.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
I get shit for that a lot.
So Goldberg's what drew you back in?
Yeah, dude, I don't know. Like, so when he came to WWE in 2003, I thought it was the fucking greatest thing ever because I was just a stupid kid and I didn't know any better. And honestly, like even going back and watching it now, his run wasn't horrible in 2003. Besides like the Mania match with Lesnar, but we're not talking about that. I don't know. Like he was always somebody that like I was drawn to for whatever reason. So when he came back, I was like, "What? That's crazy." Yeah, I don't know. That's why.
Yeah, it's funny. He was before my time, and once he left WWE, I was still a little kid. And when he came back, I was like, God, I was 17, I want to say. I was 17 when that happened, and I thought he was the coolest motherfucker ever. Whenever he beat Brock in like 2 minutes, I was like, this guy's fucking awesome. No wonder everyone's going nuts.
Yeah, and like I don't know if you've ever seen I think it's the 2003 SummerSlam Elimination Chamber that he's in. That's how he should have been booked his whole run because he looks like a fucking monster in that match. He does this like gorilla press into a spine buster to Randy Orton, and it looks fucking gnarly. I actually got a pair of signed Goldberg like trunks in my display case down here.
No, that's so sick.
Yeah. I don't tell anybody that now. Everybody's gonna know.
Yeah. That's such a cool piece of like memorabilia.
And they're the WWE trunks with the white like trim and the black. They're not the fucking black, stone cold looking trunks.
Yeah. Goldberg was like one of the first action figures I had, and I never gave that shit up like until it broke. Like
the WCW one?
I'm not 100% sure. It was black shorts with the white lines.
Oh no, that was like a Ruthless Aggression. I think I had the same one. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I have no idea where I think I traded because I used to do trades with my neighbor all the time, but it went through so many houses. And I remember like I was probably like in 8th grade, maybe freshman year, and it broke finally. And I was like, well, there's that fucking sucks.
Like, you know what? I was like, and I don't know if this is just a me thing, but I've always been a huge Mark for like gear. And I thought when he would do like the split white black, I was like, this is awesome. Why? Like I've never seen gold. That's like the same era when Triple H was doing like the colored trunks, like the red, the purple, the blue. I don't know why like that always fascinated me as a kid. My mom would get so pissed because she'd be like, you already have this figure. And I'd be like, yeah, but this one has purple trunks. Like you have to give me the new Triple H that has purple trunks.
I never collected figures. I played with them as a kid.
No, me too.
And like growing, like now that I'm grown up, I'm like, man, because I used to have like milk crates filled with them. I was like, if I would have kept those in boxes, I probably would be sitting on some like nice ones right now. But
Yeah.
instead, I gave them away or whatever. But damn.
I got the itch during COVID to start collecting again. I have like a display case right here. I got a little out of hand, and I started buying things that I would never put up. So then, then like I have like a Braun Strowman figure. Like, come on. so, so I knew at that point it was time to slow down. So now I have like a Ruthless Aggression era shelf. I have an Attitude era shelf. I have like a 07 era. So the guys that I like and that I want, I have. Everything else I'm trying to get rid of.
The only collection, like by collection I mean I have one. I tried starting a magazine collection, and I have like the WWF May 1999 Big Show's on the cover, because it's right after he debuted. And like looking back, I'm like, I wish I would have either hung it up or continued buying them, because magazines are just so sick. Just flipping through them, especially from 25 years ago.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I still have like some Shop Zone magazines and stuff like that. Those are it's always a trip when you go back and like they had like Scotty Too Hottie had a worm like necklace. Like who the fuck was buying that? You know what I mean? I would have bought it now, like if it was today, but I don't know. It just back in the day, you had to like fill out a fucking form and mail it in, and get the fuck out of here.
I forget that was so hidden in the back of my head that I had forgotten that that's how people used to like order merch. Like,
Dude, it's crazy. eBay used to do money orders. Like I remember, like you could buy a figure and you could send cash in an envelope before you even got the fucking thing, whatever you bought. Isn't that fucked up?
Good lord. After this, I'm gonna have to look up on eBay and see if that Scotty Too Hottie worm is up there, because that sounds sick.
Do it, bro. Do it. You might find some other stuff. Make sure you're on eBay when you look up Scotty Too Hottie.
Absolutely. I do want to remind the guests that we are live. If you have any comments, questions, and all that, go ahead and leave them in. My buddy Cody Milkman says "Squint smell." I say "fuck you."
Is it true?
It is not true. Cody likes to say everyone smells. I don't know what his deal is, but Cody is a bully. But now we're going to get into what I feel like a lot of the guests were looking forward to. We're going to start talking Jackass and such, because I've been on a Jackass kick lately. What is your favorite Jackass form of media? Which, like, movie, show, like...
Oh my god. Fuck. Dude, okay. I'm gonna since you said Jackass, I'm not gonna bring up like CKY or anything. I think my favorite is probably Jackass number 2. It's a classic. I really like the third one too. But yeah, I think the second one would have to be my favorite movie.
Yeah. Second one's so good. And then like I was telling all my coworkers, like none of them remember this, but it's such like a time of my life that I remember where like Jackass was like on top. Like you had the Jackass video games, like they had a Jackass takeover on MTV. Do you remember any of that?
Oh yeah, dude, I had the video game. Yeah, we would play that shit all night. Like, and this was before I was smoking weed or anything, and that game was awful. But yeah, we would play that game. I remember the takeover because I think wasn't Steve-O like fucking drunk as shit. I'm pretty sure he was like overly fucked up, and he was doing some wild shit on set. Yeah, I remember, dude. You know, honestly, Jackass is such like a it's a perfect example of what things were like in the 2000s, like the early 2000s, the late 90s. That's obviously why like the Attitude Era was so popular during the same time frame. and I just it makes you almost envious. Like I wish I had that kind of camaraderie with my friends where I could just like throw a snake on him and then he'd still be cool with me the next day.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's like you said, it's just I don't know. Like in the way I look at Jackass 2, that's a group of guys that I feel like should have like never became as big as they did. Like I think they just went with the flow, and next thing you know, they're mega stars.
Yeah, absolutely not. Well, like Johnny Knoxville wanted to be an actor. He didn't
Yeah.
want to. He didn't want to be what he was, and like like Jackass is like, and I'm no professional. This is just what I know. But like Jackass started because of Big Brother and like CKY basically fucking and having a baby. Like that's what Jackass is. And the whole thing that started Jackass was that skit with Johnny when he takes the taser and then he takes the fucking pepper spray. And then they don't show it on Jackass like the TV show, but then he literally holds up a book and has someone fucking shoot him with a fucking gun, a real gun with a. This is real. You can find the footage, and to see if he would get shot. And luckily he didn't, but that was like the origin of Jackass right there. And they weren't gonna film that. They were just gonna do a write up in Big Brother about what hurt the most. And somebody was like, "Oh, let's film it." So, yeah.
Jesus Christ, I didn't know that. That is nuts.
I know way too much. I have like my knowledge of like The Office and Jackass is like way up here, and then everything else is like way down here. I know way too many things about stuff that does not matter.
Stuff. Oh no, Jackass! Like I remember being like 3 or 4 and just watching the Jackass movie and crying to have my parents rent it from Blockbuster or some shit. You know, looking back, like now that I watch it, now that I'm 25, I'm like, there's no reason a 3 or 4 or 5-year-old should be watching that shit. Like, what the fuck? What was I doing watching that?
Dude, everything during that era, like I remember. Did you play or ever like watch actual backyard wrestling? Like the game, there was a game called Backyard Wrestling, and like so all that shit. Like there was no reason kids should have been watching any of that. But again, like it was such a different time. I think everybody was a little bit more like lax to the silliness of what the world was. I don't know. I nothing like that would ever fly today. Obviously, that's why they don't do this shit no more. I mean, the new Jackass was good, the Jackass Forever, but you know, fucking, what are you gonna do? You can't do that. I mean, I seen Steve-O, his stand-up special it was sometime last summer, and it was really good. And there's still Jackass elements in there, but it's pretty much like a stand-up thing. And I seen what's his name, fucking Danger Aaron. He had that death match, I think, at Prestige Wrestling a few years ago.
Yeah,
that was fucking gnarly.
Yeah, it's like when I seen that graphic, I forgot who we faced, but when I first,
I do too. I don't remember.
It was a big deathmatch guy. It might have been like Nick Gage, actually. Thinking about it,
I don't know if it was Gage. I think it. I don't remember. I don't remember honestly, but that was a huge deal. But see, that's perfect. You know what I mean? And I was there. I wasn't there. I was in Mania when Knoxville wrestled Sammy. I was only at night 1, and I think that was at night 2, or vice versa. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to see that, but I really wish I did because I love that match, Sami Zayn versus Knoxville.
That match. I was at the Rumble that year, and like I knew Johnny was gonna be in the Rumble, but when I heard the Jackass theme play over the speakers, I was like, "This is fucking awesome!" Like hearing the Jackass. Oh, dude, I went nuts. And then whenever he started just fucking stiffing AJ Styles, I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, dude, I fucking love that. I love. And then if you go back and watch Steve-O and Chris Pontius, they have that segment with Umaga, and Umaga just beats the shit out of Steve-O, because Steve-O has like a video where he's talking about it, but he didn't know he was supposed to sell after he took the splash, so he kept laughing, and Umaga starts fucking kicking him in the face so he would stop laughing.
Yeah, no, I remember being a kid watching that, and then I know what video you're talking about of Steve-O, where, yeah, because didn't Umaga like slam him too, like just straight fucking dump him on his head also?
Yeah, I think he dumped Pontius, and I don't maybe dumped both of them, but I know Steve-O got the splash for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, and you know what? Another thing that escapes my memory of, and I just seen this. I think the WWE Vault, they had uploaded like something about the WWE warehouse, and they were showing all this stuff, and they showed Kevin Federline's robe from when he wrestled John Cena. You remember fucking Kevin Federline?
So funny enough, I just watched that shit like 3 months ago. But I remember it happening because like I was 7 or 8, right when my memory started developing at that time. So like that was one of my first big core memories of like childhood wrestling was Kevin Federline. I think I had my parents buy me Kevin Federline's album because of it.
Oh my
Like,
god, no.
I could not tell you a single song by him though. I could not.
It worked then, I guess, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, like, it's crazy how like ads work and all that. Like, I told the story on Twitter a couple weeks ago, but like, whenever I was like 5, I went to my grandpa's house and he had the Chrissy Hemme Playboy just chilling on the kitchen table, and I was like, "Oh shit, what's this?" Not knowing, and I was like, "Whoa!" And my mom snatched it, and like, I didn't know what Playboy was, but there's a wrestler on it. Let's see what's inside. And yeah, like,
Dude, same shit with me. I think my dad had China, both of them. But at the first one, I didn't know what Playboy was. I didn't read it. I knew what it was because of WWF. Like, they would reference it, but I didn't actually know what it was. Yeah, I've been there before. I'm pretty sure we've all been there. Nobody just wants to talk about it.
No, definitely. But talking about Steve-O on Raw, I don't know why I know this so well, but they were promoting Wild Boys, and then they were also promoting Steve-O had a show on USA Network. I cannot think of the name of it, but it was like Dr. Steve-O or something.
Yeah, it was Dr. Steve-O, something like that.
I forgot exactly what the show was about, but I remember, like, wasn't it literally just, I don't even know what it was, like him just doing stupid shit with a doctor on site, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It didn't even last. It only lasted like a few episodes, and then I think it got pulled because it was like that they couldn't air it, what he was doing or something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah.
And then I think Dunn had, not on USA, but Dunn had his show too. It was like a home destruction show where he would like fucking demolish people's houses or something. You remember that?
I do not know of this. That sounds
No?
crazy.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was called. It only lasted like a season, but I don't know if they renovated it. I just remember him fucking up the house.
Ryan Dunn Home Wrecker is the
Okay.
first thing that popped up. Yeah, sure as shit. Holy crap. 2005. Looks like there was only, let's see, 8 episodes.
What was it on MTV? What was it on? Let's say.
I'm looking. I'm not seeing anything.
Probably on like.
Oh, yep. MTV.
Was it really on MTV? Wow.
That's what it says on Wikipedia.
Hmm.
MTV. Number of seasons 1, number of episodes 8. Yeah, MTV. It was only from October to December of 2005. That's crazy. I never knew that.
Yeah, that one, like, I've only seen a couple episodes, but that one's pretty good, pretty entertaining.
It what's it called? In 2021, I got the whole box set on Amazon for, like, it has all the Jackass TV series, like every season, every episode. Bad Grandpa 1 and 2, and then all 3 movies and the .5s and all of that. and that's probably my favorite. Like, if I'm bored, I'll just toss in a random DVD.
Okay, so have you ever watched any CKY shit or no?
Whenever I was like 9 or 10 on YouTube, maybe.
Dude, listen. I'm about to change your life. Listen. Okay. When you got some extra money, go on eBay. Okay. Buy. You don't have, if you want you can, there's 4 of them. Okay. You can buy the box set or you can buy one by one, whatever. I bought a one by one used because I don't give a shit as long as they work. CKY, CKY2, CKY3, CKY4. That shit is serious than Jackass. I'm so serious, dude. Like, and that's the Viva La Bam crew.
Yeah.
Before Viva La Bam, So like, that's just all of them as kids basically. Oh my god, dude, it is fucking. They're diabolical. They are maniacal. They are fucking atrocious. It is awesome. It is, and another good one, which this is on YouTube. You can watch this. Is Steve-O, PCP? Don't try this at home. It's him high off PCP for like 2 weeks straight, and they're just filming him, and it's its own little documentary. It's kind of, I mean, it's if you can, like, whatever. I personally don't mind watching like people high because like I've been through all that shit and I came out on the other end, so it's like I can watch that shit and like see the humor in it. But that's another good one. But dude, yeah, definitely check out some of the CKY shit because I promise you're gonna fucking love it. You're gonna love it, and there's gonna be shit on there that you've never seen before.
There was another Steve-O like movie or something that I remember. It came out in like mid 2000s. I forgot what it was, but it was a DVD.
National Lampoon, something like that. I know he had a couple. There was that one. There was Steve-O, Don't Try This at Home. And I think there was 2 or 3 of those, like, Don't Try This at Home, because that PCP DVD was a part, like, it was part of one of those DVDs also. And also, if you've never seen like Haggard is Bam's movie that he made in like 2000. It was right before Jackass 2, so it was like right before they got really, really famous.
Yeah.
But it's Bam's movie. I think he wrote. I'm pretty sure he wrote the whole thing, directed it. Him and Brandon, like Deco. And it's not like a fucking act. Like, you're not gonna sit down and watch it seriously, but it is like a movie. It has a storyline and shit. It's really good. And that's enough. You can get that cheap on eBay too.
Okay. There was
I'll send you links and shit later.
No, please do. Please do.
Yeah.
Did you watch? There was a couple of them, like Viva La Bam spinoffs. There was like Bam Margera's Unholy Wedding, or something like that.
Union. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there was like Viva La Bam goes to the North Pole, and that is unfortunately how old squints found out Santa was not real. That was how. I remember.
I was gonna say, I think Unholy Union might be the first thing I introduced my girlfriend to, like, any kind of Jackass or Bam related content, because she is, dude, I'm talking like she was the squeakiest clean person I've ever met in my life. She had never watched an episode of The Simpsons or Jersey Shore or like, bro. Because her parents protected her and cared about her, so she wasn't exposed to this fuckery. Like, she had never seen an Adam Sandler movie. I'm talking, this girl was completely, So we watched Unholy Union because she likes, like romantic shit and whatever. So it has like some of those elements in there, and then. I mean, there's a wedding. There's a wedding at the end of it.
She likes love stories, so I showed her Bam Margera's Unholy Union.
Dude, yeah, but honestly, it got her because by the end of that, she was like hooked. Like she watched all of Evil of Bam. She doesn't like Jackass as much because it's kind of gross, like some of the stuff they do. But yeah, like she's a big like Bam fan now.
Oh, there's some stuff in the Jackass movies I have to skip. I can't watch like any of like. So I seen the third one in 3D at the movie theaters with my grandma because she asked me what movie I wanted to go. I was like 10.
Wait, hold on. It's already enough for an elderly person to watch a movie in 3D. The opening fucking scenes of that movie is a fucking flying dick in phantom camera. That's crazy. So wait, how did she? Does your grandma at least have a good sense of humor? Like, did she
She
appreciate the movie?
she sat out in the lobby after the first 5 minutes. She went out. I'm not even kidding. She said she was gonna go to the bathroom. She came back and she grabbed her purse, and I'm like, I'm just gonna wait out there for you, honey. And I was like, all right, grandma, sorry.
That is so awesome.
Because like she used to take me to the movies like once or twice a year, and I was like, hey, grandma, there's this new movie I want to see, and I should have probably like informed her on what it was, but
yeah. The fuck,
But-
man? You just sent your grandma right off, bro.
I think it was within like the first 5 or 10 minutes, dude. She went to the bathroom, came back, grabbed her purse, and she was like, all right, I'm just gonna go sit out here. I was like,
Oh my God. I seen that one in theaters too. Jackass 3D. I wish I kept my glasses. Fucking yeah, dude. I don't like the like. I can handle puking, right? Like
yeah.
it's just like they just. I don't. Steve-O just pukes on a different level. Like
Yeah.
he's just constantly puking. Specific one that I will not watch, and they all try to chug a gallon of milk. It's like,
Nope.
yeah, it's like Aaron, fucking some random chick, and Dave England, and dude, they're all puking. I'm like, this is fucking disgusting. And there's an uncut. I'm sorry, there's a cut scene. Dave England drinks a raw egg, throws it up, and then makes an omelet out
Yeah.
of it, and then eats it.
No.
See, like,
Yeah.
okay, that's what I'm saying. But she doesn't like Jackass as much because it's a little disgusting. And that's straight up
Jackass-
man humor, dude. Like any girl.
That's what
I don't think any girl's gonna think that's funny.
I was gonna say. That's like Jackass is the perfect like just dudes being dudes.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, 100%.
definition of just dudes being dudes doing whatever. But
We would do try to do dumb shit, like not replicate it, but there was a hill by my house where I went to fucking elementary school, and we would empty this metal garbage tin. We'd take the bag out and we just fucking roll each other down the fucking hill until we're spinning out of the fucking thing. Yeah, dude, crazy times, man.
me and my friends, we had those little like electric cars that you buy kids at Walmart and all that.
Yeah.
Drove those down a hill once. Giant tractor trailer. We put one of our friends in it, and we were just rolling it. And then somebody's like, "What if we roll it down a hill?" And I was like, "This is where we gotta cross the line, guys. We can't roll someone in a tractor tire down a giant fucking hill. That's gonna result in injuries that we cannot afford." Like,
Yeah, and that's when everybody knew you were the smart one in the group.
oh, yeah. I was always the one that would like pitch out ideas, and then I'd be like, "Oh, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not feeling good." But, like,
You're the shit stirrer. You just
I'm
want
like-
to see it happen.
yeah, I'm like, it'd be pretty funny if this happened, and then I'm like, I just watch it all go down. But no, yeah, Jackass. Just I'm trying to think of other, like, there's Wildwood Boys, obviously, but that's not really unknown. I feel like everybody includes that.
Yeah, I love Wild Boys too. That's a good one. She's also not a fan of that because they're eating bugs and doing
Yeah.
fucking, But I love it. I love that. Or like Rob Dyrdek's Fantasy Factory. Oh my god, that shit is great. Rob and Big. I think Rob Dyrdek's fucking hilarious. I feel like I get a lot of my humor from Rob Dyrdek. Not ridiculousness, Rob Dyrdek. I'm talking about like Rob and Big. Fucking that era is so fucking underrated, dude.
I don't think I've laughed any harder than on Fantasy Factory when he kicks the kickball and just hits Chanel in the face after he threw it at her face like 2 times prior.
Dude, there's so many good Fantasy Factory episodes, like the one where Drama gets the veneers put in, and like he's like, and of course Rob has to make everything like fucking amplified to the 10th degree. This dude can't just do it in peace, get his fucking fucked up teeth fixed. No, he has to fucking walk in on Drama, half like no teeth, mouth swollen as shit, and they're just pointing and laughing in his face. And like you went from a 7 all the way down to like a -2. Like I absolutely I have Robin Big on DVD. I don't have Fantasy Factory on DVD because you can stream it on Paramount. So
Yeah.
you can't stream Robin Big.
That's crazy to me. It's so crazy
You can't
that
stream
Robin.
People of Bam either. That's not streaming either.
Yeah, somebody tried telling me you can watch it on Prime Video, but you cannot. Like you have to
No.
buy it, but I'm not
Yeah.
buying it. If I'm buying, I'm going to buy the discs.
Yeah, you might as well. Yeah, and those are actually starting to like go up in price. I seen like I'm a part of this group chat, and somebody was like trying to sell like the whole set for $250. I'm like, damn, I got the whole set, but I got it during COVID for mad cheap. So
Yeah, during COVID, I think it's because the new Jackass was coming out also because
Yeah.
they had the Jackass set I was talking about for like $25 or some shit just for like 7 DVDs.
Have you ever played the game, the Jackass game, the video game?
I played it whenever I was like, I'm trying to think. If it came out in like 2007, I was 7 or 8. So I remember renting it and playing it.
Oh, okay.
And now that I
Okay.
think about it, I don't think we returned it, but no, I remember playing the game, and I just like last year I did a deep dive on the video game because I wanted to know more about it, and because I was so young. But that game, it looks like it's fun, but it also looks like the controls are shitty as hell. It looks like.
It'd be fun to play like on like shrooms or something, probably.
Well, did you know Bam Margera, he couldn't be in the game because he had a contract with Activision or some shit like that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
never put those connections together until
Yeah, because the Tony Hawk, the Underground 2, and that's why fucking they have. I think it's like the golf. I don't know if it's actually in the. Yeah, it is in the game. Like hit their house. You hit the golf balls toward Bam's house or whatever, like their original house. Yeah, that is fucked up. And I think he did mocap even because I know somebody who posted a video promoting something from a Jackass video game shirt, and it might have had qualities that are not so I might have seen Bam in doing mocap, but he was also supposed to be in Forever, but they that whole fucking debacle.
Yeah.
I'm sure about that.
Yeah, that whole situation is sad. Like, and it looks like he's kind of on the right path.
Yeah.
DDP, which I feel like if you're a celebrity and you're battling drug addiction, DDP's the guy to fix you, more than likely.
For sure.
So, but
I met him last I think it might have been around this time last year. I met him at a convention. Bam.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I have like a Viva La Bam skate deck, and he fucking marked out over it like big time, and signed. Not only did he sign it, but he flipped it and he wrote because he has his own language.
Yeah.
And he wrote each letter like how you write it, and then underneath it like in a different color if it like A, B, C.
Yeah.
So, dude, he took like 20 minutes on this fucking deck, dude. Like, he was so happy and so thankful. Like, he was so down to earth. I gave him a shirt. He ended up wearing it in this fucking video. Like, he's mad cool, dude. He's mad cool. And he just seemed like he was like smoking weeds. And if he's smoking weed, whatever. Like, who fucking cares about that?
He was at that's so cool that he was at a convention. Like, that's just tight. Like, Bam Margera is probably one of the, like, I don't know. He just seems like a chill dude. Like, he just seems like when he's sober, I should say.
I'm going to grab it real quick. So he signed it. And
It's so
then-
sick. Holy shit.
So yeah, dude, like I haven't fucking hung it up yet, but I will eventually. That was super cool, dude. Like I wasn't expecting him to do any of that. I just thought he would sign it. And he just, like I said, he fucking marked out over it like big time and just took it upon himself to do it. And I was like, cool.
So speaking of marking out, we're gonna go back to wrestling for a tidbit here. You're very involved with wrestling, obviously. Have you had one of those moments where like you're at a show and somebody like big is at the show and you're like, holy shit? Like, have you had one of those moments?
Yeah.
I'm glad you're honest. Most people are like, no.
No, they're fucking lying to you. They're 100% lying. Billy Gunn was probably the first one. Two reasons. One, because he's fucking a huge human being. Like people don't realize he's literally the size of Hulk Hogan, which fuck Hulk Hogan, but he is the size of Hulk Hogan. And I was a huge Billy Gunn fucking mark. I always liked the guys that stood out. Like Billy Gunn had fucking lips on his trunks. Shawn Michaels had hearts on his tights. Jeff Hardy painted his nails and had colored hair. Like all those guys to me were like that. A lot of who I am today is because of those characters. Like
yeah.
they weren't afraid to like show like flamboyancy or whatever. So when I met Billy Gunn, that was like, holy fuck. I didn't mark out in the moment. My inner self marked out. I never ask anybody to take pictures ever. I don't give a shit. It's different for the boys. I've said this before. It's different for the boys. Me, I don't feel like I should be asking anybody to take a picture. Like I have no right. Like they go in the back to not deal with people like that. You know what I mean? So, Billy Gunn, and then I worked a show with Matt and Jeff Hardy before they went to AEW. It was in Wisconsin, and they worked Mr. Kennedy and Chris Masters. Which, yeah, so that was fucking cool. That was pretty cool. I didn't mark out as much. At that point, I had already been in the business for a little bit longer, but still, like, that was really fucking cool, too.
Chris Masters is another one that's fucking huge. I never realized it.
He's a big dude. I've worked with him a couple times. He's cool. He's a cool dude. He's really chill.
He wrestles a lot in Chicago area, doesn't he?
He actually wrestles a lot in like Mexico. He does a lot of like, he's really big like in Mexico, and I honestly don't see him get that many bookings in America. I mean, I know he was with NWA for a while, but he worked Second Wrestling, and then he
did 0-1 last.
He did he did 0-1. Yeah. Other than that, I don't think he's worked any other Chicago indies. Not recently.
The 0-1 one was so funny because it was a War Games match and he was the last entrant and he did the full entrance where he had the chain thing on, the veil on, and he's doing the poses with the music. His teammates are just getting their ass whooped. And I was on hard cam and I was going crazy. I was like, this is Chris Masters. And then
I really liked Chris Masters when I was a kid. I thought he was fucking badass.
Oh yeah. When I met him, I didn't work out. I went up, I shook his hand, and that was my first time like being like, holy shit, this guy's huge. But my first time like marking out was Jinder Mahal when he showed up at GCW. That was because I was there helping.
He's huge too. He's fucking massive.
Dude. I was sitting there talking to Camaro Jackson because we were just there, and fucking I see somebody walk in and he had a hood on, and then he like took the hood off, and I was like, that guy looks fucking familiar. And then he started asking where Effie was, and I was like, oh, that's Jinder. Okay. And like I'm not gonna be one of those guys that goes up and like, oh, nice to meet you, sir, and shake his hand. I just like he like looked at me, he nodded, I nodded, and we just went our separate ways. But I called my dad. I was like, you won't fucking believe who's here, dude. I was like, the modern day Mirage is fucking here, dude. And my dad's like, what? But yeah, Jinder Mahal, he's a huge motherfucker.
Yeah, I got to work with him at BLP, and at what was it? Oh no, it was two separate BLP shows that he worked. Yeah, he's a big fucking dude. Another cool moment that I had. This was more recently. Not so much of a marking out moment, more so of like a wow, this is kind of crazy that I'm doing this moment, which I don't ever have those. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. It's hard to like as for many people that would want to be doing what I'm doing or would want to get into wrestling photography or videography or whatever it is. You're eventually like you're just gonna reach a point where not that you don't care, it's just like you don't really know what else you can do in a sense, right? Like that's kind of why, like I mentioned it earlier, I felt like I was burnt out from doing the photography. But then you have moments where like I got to shoot Mox winning the IWGP title in Chicago. You know, like you have moments where you do have the gratitude and the like everything kind of flows at you. But I had recently worked a House of Glory show with it was supposed to be Matt Cardona versus Zilla Fatu, but I think Zilla got sick, so then they switched the card around and it ended up being Matt Cardona versus Mustafa Ali. Which I said to myself, I'm like, this is fucking nuts because here are two guys that were in the Fed that didn't get the opportunity to show what they're doing right now in front of all of these people and on the stream, and like I'm the person that gets to film this. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and I feel like a lot of these people that are coming into wrestling photography or video or just wrestling in general, that's something that people need to step back and look at is like, okay, you need to be grateful for the opportunity that you're given because you don't know what's going to happen in wrestling. In 10 years, there can be a company that forms that buys Deadlock Pro and Prestige and West Coast, and then they own all their footage, and the next thing you know, all these guys are on TV. You literally don't know. So you can't. The people take it for granted, and that's what I was just saying before. Like I was in the same kind of rut. But what I see now is a lot of these new guys are fucking marks. Just to be completely honest with you, and completely honest with anybody that's watching this. And if it hurts your feelings and you're watching this, I'm sorry. But dude, I mean, like, okay, here's a good example. If you got somebody like Danhausen wrestling Alfonso Gonzalez, which is the champion, he's the world champion at Freelance Wrestling in Chicago.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
So he's like a local guy versus a TV guy. If your first opportunity on a show, you take the time to only focus and take pictures of the TV guy, that's showing where your mind is and really what your goal is. And it's not to grow and it's not to help the boys. It's to get yourself over because you want engagement and you want followers and you want likes and you want everybody to see that you shot Danhausen. And that's so disrespectful to everybody, like not just me, but like the boys, obviously Alfonso or whoever might be in that position. It is just so fucked up because those guys are out there doing things that they don't need to do to entertain people like me and you. And if you have the opportunity to capture this moment, which again, you should be grateful for, then you need to let that sink in and understand, like, everybody matters. Yes, it's cool that you get to work with people on TV. Yes, it's cool you get to meet people that you had action figures of. But you can't be a mark. You can't be a fucking mark in wrestling. That's just how it is. That's just how it is.
No, exactly. I mean, like I've only been doing the shit I do, like the filming, like hard cam and all that, for 2-ish years. But like I always tell like my dad and my family, I'm like, my favorite memories so far are like filming the matches of the people that are just starting, because like you don't know where they're going to be in the future. I like yeah, it is cool doing like the GCWs and filming the bigger people, but like it's the people that are just starting out that makes it so cool, because like you're part of their like career, like you're helping them, like it, that makes sense. Like it's
Yeah, dude. I remember I started working with Sky Blue, like, I don't know, maybe her second, like, first or second year in the business. Like, I was her, like Heather Reckless, like, all, like, these girls just started wrestling. I remember I actually shot a match with it was Sky Blue versus Cora Jade, which is now, I'm sorry, which at the time was Elena Black.
yeah.
Like you just said, dude, you never fucking know. Like, you being in the business, you have a little better of a feel on who has the possibility of getting there, but you really don't ever know who has that potential. And like, I knew Sky from the first fucking time I watched her. I'm like, she's gonna have a job eventually. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
Maggie Lee is another one. Like, she is so fucking good, and I might have actually shot her first match ever. I don't know if I did or if I didn't. If I didn't, I was for sure there. Um, and she has only been wrestling for, like, I think 2 years or maybe longer. Like, if longer, maybe 3. She's been training longer. But she's fucking incredible, you know, and she's gonna have a job. She will have a job. So you have a little bit of a better feel for sure, being in the business, but you really don't ever know who's gonna fucking make it. And that's the fun of it, dude. It's awesome.
Yeah. No, Maggie Lee, I seen her for the first time at Dreamwave a couple weeks ago. And I remember getting in the car with Bosch and Scott, and they asked me, like, oh, how was the card? Who stood out? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, Maggie Lee. That was my first time, and that was like.
And she's like a WWE fucking wet dream. Like, she doesn't come from wrestling. She's a athlete. She just so happens to be really fucking good at it. She's like
yeah.
she's like Bianca Belair. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Um,
definitely.
yeah, and she's a super cool chick. She's worked so hard, like, for for the momentum like she has right now. She's fucking awesome, and I'm glad that you brought those guys up, because the new guys, and I'm not just saying this because they're your boys. I fucking love the new guys. I love the new guys. I love Jake. I love Scott. I think it's awesome that they play off each other so fucking well. Dude, and honestly, Jake looks like he can be fucking bro. Like, like that dude is everything like a professional wrestler should be. And Scott is fucking awesome, dude. I love both those guys.
It's funny because like it was 2 or 3 months. It was like within 6 months of their first like match when they first debuted. And I remember I tweeted out because I seen them on an Anarchy pre-show, and I said something along the lines of, I was like, join the new guys hype train now before it's too late. And then like here we are a year and a half later, and I'm like, because they have like 6 different tag titles. They went to Canada. They wrestled for West Side Gun, Fourth Rope. Like they are like and people are like, oh, they're your friends. That's why you're saying all this. I'm like, no, I'm saying this because like they are talented.
They're he's not just saying it because they're friends. They're really fucking good. I had just met them recently, like over the last whenever they came to Dreamwave the first time. That was the first time I had ever met him. But dude, they have everything a tag team needs, and honestly, I'm so glad that a new team is starting to come up and show face, because it's always usually the same guys like Davey and August, or Hunter and 12 Gauge, or now more recently Jack Valor and Eddie Grayson. These two fucking 16, 17-year-old kids from CSW, dude. They're literally, their knee pads say 06, bro.
You want to hear something disgusting?
I love you guys, by the way.
I met them for the first time. Everyone you just mentioned, besides Davey and August. I met them, but it was years ago. But you said their knee pads say 06. I had a coworker the other day say they were born in like 08. And I was like, oh my God.
You want to throw up.
Dude, I literally, I said, what did you just say to me? I had to walk away. I was like, that is disgusting. Like, because we're talking about 07, 08 earlier, about like how that's our childhood, and Jackass this, Jackass that. They weren't even fucking born yet. Like,
dude, isn't that fucked up? I mean, that's insane. That is actually like insane.
Yeah, it's
but props, man, dude. Because when I was 16, bro, I had no drive, like none. 16, 17, I had no fucking drive. So the fact that these kids know what they want to do and they're young enough to have the time to do it, it's awesome, man. It's gonna make for great stars.
No, definitely. And then earlier, so before we wrap this up, I asked everybody this question. You mentioned Jersey Shore earlier, so I'm hoping that you answer this correctly. What is your favorite Jersey Shore season?
Answer this correctly. Wait, can I ask a question first before?
Yeah.
Why is this the send-off question?
It's not the send-off question. It's just my typical question that I ask.
Wait a minute, because your logo up here looks like a Viva La Bam, not a Jersey Shore. You should probably switch that out. No.
So Anakin Murphy told me I need to switch out to asking everyone Jackass questions, which
I love Anakin.
Oh, dude, Anakin's the dude. But no, I try to fit in the Jersey Shore questions some point during the interview. It's just
I had to culture my girlfriend, like I mentioned earlier. She had never watched it, dude. So she's up. She loves it now. We're actually ironically, we are rewatching it, like currently.
Yeah.
I think my favorite season, I don't know if it's the best season, but my favorite season is the first season. Because it's like as organic as it can be. And it's so fucking nuts. Like, and you just see how stupid all these people are. But all of them are really good, dude. Like, all of them are so good. The only one I don't like is the fifth one, the one where Mike's sober. It feels like it didn't even happen. Like, it feels like it's not even a real season.
Is that the one where Snooki's pregnant and she lives in a separate house also?
It might be. Yeah, because 4 is when they go to Italy, right?
No, so 4 is Italy. 5th is
they're back in Jersey.
Yeah, they go right back, and then 6 is Snooki's pregnant and Mike's sober, I think.
Okay, yes. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't really like that season. But all the other ones are the Italy ones, also like it has some good episodes, but that's not my favorite. What's your favorite? What's the right answer?
Season 4. The Italy season. I loved Italy. I love Italy.
I don't know why. I felt like it was more like choreographed or scripted. I feel like they pushed that Mike Snooki thing so hard. Like, I mean, obviously, I don't know. I'm just a fucking outsider watching TV, but that's just what it felt like to me.
No, they definitely. I get what you're saying. It felt like they were very like storyline persistent rather than the prior seasons just letting everything just fucking explode everywhere. But
you know, the Shore store still sells like all that stuff on their website.
Yeah, I just also found out you can rent out the
Jersey Shore house, right?
For an Airbnb, but it's like fucking a shit ton of money per night, and I'm good.
I think my girlfriend because she'll just randomly go on Zillow and like look at houses for whatever reason. But I think one day she did that or she's seen a post about it.
Yeah.
That'd be cool, but like I'd way rather spend my money on anything else.
So couple of years ago, I went up to New Jersey, and it got hit with a snowstorm. But I was so persistent on going to like Seaside Heights. I was like, I need to walk the boardwalk. I need to go by the Shore House, the Shore store. I need to go by Karma. I needed to be in the Jersey Shore. But
You needed the Guido experience.
yeah, exactly. No, Jersey Shore. I rewatched it like 2 or 3 times. In season 1,
it's fucking ridiculous, isn't it?
oh my god, season 1, like you said, it's one of my favorite seasons because you see everybody, and then like if you've watched the show already, you're like, there's no way these group of people turn into who they are later. Like it's
crazy. Like I'm sure you know or remember, but like the whole reason that show got popular is because Snooki got punched in the face. That episode literally blew the fuck up and was everywhere. It was on the news. That shit was everywhere. And then that show like blew the fuck up.
I think that's how I got introduced to it. Like I think I seen it on the news, like Snooki, our Jersey Shore star, gets punched in face in new episode, and I was like, oh shit, let's see what this is about.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, because I watched it when it was live. I was fucking looking back. I was like 9 or 10. I should not have been watching that as a kid, but I was.
No, dude, we were watching 16 and Pregnant, and it was fucked up shit, bro. We had no idea.
Dude, those shows were so. Me and my coworker, who he's older than me, he was bringing up old MTV shows like Parental Control, if you remember that one.
Yeah, God. Or Next.
Parental Control was so funny because it'd be the 2 parents sitting next to the boyfriend, and like they'd be like, "You see her," and like the girl would be on a date with another guy. And I was like,
wasn't Darby on that show?
He was on.
Or was it a different show?
He was on Sex Sent Me to the ER. He might have been on another MTV show, but I know
that's probably the one. You're probably right.
Because if I remember hearing correctly in a interview he did, like him and his girlfriend at the time, they did that show because they got paid to do it. Like you could just go on those shows and make up a story, and they'd pay you to use your story, and that's what he said he did. Which is
definitely he had the look, so that's when he had that crazy ass long black hair.
Yeah. What other shows? I'm trying to think of MTV shows that
Silent Library.
Oh my god.
That was
there's only one question I want to ask Dolph Ziggler if I ever meet him, and that's what was it like being on Silent Library? Like I don't care about the scoops.
You can ask him at Dreamwave.
I was gonna say if I'm at Dreamwave, like I don't want to be that fucking guy and be like, "Hey Nick, nice to meet you. By the way, Silent Library, chat me up, please."
I can't imagine he gets asked that many times about that.
Well, no, and like I feel like that's why he'd probably be annoyed, like, "Oh, this fucking guy wants to talk to me." But once I mention Silent Library, he might be like, "Holy shit, this kid's on to something." Like,
yeah, he might actually appreciate you.
Yeah, I don't give a damn about the scoops. I don't care about what was it like cashing in on Alberto Del Rio. Just please tell me about Silent Library. Like that's all I want to know. But there was that Nitro Circus. I'm surprised we didn't talk about that at all.
Oh yeah, dude, and they're still going strong.
Yeah, like they do tours and shit, don't they?
Yeah, they just. I think they were just in Chicago like not too long ago. We were gonna go. I think it was at the Rosemont Horizon, but life happens.
I don't think it's the same crew. Like I'm sure like Travis and like he's probably there because he's like the face of Nitrous.
Yeah, right. But it's like Jackass. Like they got like new guys or whatever, new cast.
Do you remember the Nitro Circus like clip, I guess, or like part of their lore? Where that street bike Tommy or whatever went flying off the ramp and like missed the foam pit and like got fucked up. Like they had the giant foam pit, he missed it and just
yeah, those guys. I don't like. I'd be scared to go see that live. Like though, that's sketchy. That's some sketchy shit, bro.
I get nervous at wrestling shows. Like
Right.
when fucking Connor Hopkins and Christian Reels were beating the shit out of each other, and Connor did the Pepsi plunge, I was just thinking to myself, I was like, "Don't get hurt, guys! Don't get hurt, guys! Don't get like." I get nervous for some stuff, man. Like,
Dude, bro, tell me about it. I've seen some fucking dude. I watched Vikingo. Oh my god, this guy. He fucking I don't even know how to describe it. So it was a triple threat or a four-way for Warrior Wrestling in South Bend, Indiana, and there was this wall. Okay, so but it was like in tiers. So there was like one here, right, and then the next panel was kind of a little higher, and the next panel was a little higher. So it was like cascading upwards, but it was like steps, like level. This guy walked up the steps like through the audience, jumped on the fucking top of the wall, and then did like a corkscrew fucking some crazy shit and landed it. And landed because they whatever like broke his fall, but still he fucking landed it. I've seen some wild shit happen. I watched Joey Janela do a fucking swanton bomb off of a field goal post through a table to Robert Ego Anthony, the one and only Rob Anthony. Yeah, bro. But I've never, thankfully, not to like end this on a note where we're talking about people getting hurt, but I've really only witnessed one person get pretty fucked up. And it was nobody's fault. It was Mojo McQueen. I don't know if you're familiar with him or not. Probably not. He's like a Chicago local guy. Fucking awesome gimmick, dude. Big jack guy. He comes out with this. It looks like a Bible, and he opens it, and fucking the flames shoot up out of it, like shoot flames, or it's real fire. But he's a big dude, like 6, probably 5, 6'6", and he went to go do like the Undertaker tope, and he just like his feet like clipped the ropes, and he landed on his knees, and I think he broke like one of his kneecaps because he had to get surgery and shit. Yeah, that's the only time I've ever seen anything fucked up happen. Thankfully, like the boys are pretty good at taking care of each other, and like I said, that was like a freak accident. Shit happens.
The only freak accident I've seen, thankfully, was you've probably seen it. It was like all over for a little bit. Talked about Gary J versus Lenny Mephisto, and Gary went to do like I don't know what they were going for, but it was onto a bed of nails that was propped up in a corner, like how they set the tables up in a corner. And Lenny went face first, and luckily put his arm out, or else he would have been blind. But the 4 nails like went right through his arm, and then if you see the video, Gary the baby ref is checking on Lenny, and Gary just grabs him and just throws him and like pins Lenny, wrapped the match up, and Lenny's arm was just gushing. It was like that was horrible.
Could have been worse, yeah, dude. Fucking, that always sucks when shit like that happens. But that's why we gotta respect the fucking business, dude. Like, especially people like me and you, because we ain't fucking shit, bro. Like, we're just cogs in the wheel, man. Like, we're just cogs in the wheel. And if there wasn't me or you, wrestling would still be okay. So we gotta appreciate it.
That's why I never critique like someone's match in a negative manner. Like if I see something sick as fuck, I'll like praise them, but I'm not gonna be like, oh, that match fucking sucked. What the fuck were you thinking? Because I've never taken a bump, so why should I comment on that?
Right? Yeah. Critiquing is one. If somebody asks for your advice or whatever, like I get that sometimes, just because I have a different perspective, maybe. Being ringside, but yeah, critiquing is one thing. Being a fucking dick is a whole other thing. And if you want to get punched in the face, like that's a good way to do it. You just tell somebody that their fucking match suck, because they will drop you really quickly.
No, definitely. I'm still getting used to the like, oh, what did you think? And I'm like, I don't know what to say. Like I always just say, I'm like, oh, it was good. Like I don't, because I feel like I'm in no position to like critique. like give you constructive criticism. I'll be like, oh, it was good. I like when you did this, but I'm not gonna sit here and be like, well, actually, if you would have done this differently, like
And I'm sure that's probably really all they're looking for. You know, I don't think anybody would come to me asking for like advice on how to do a fucking move. Like, you know, because what the fuck do I know? I can show you how to fucking point and shoot a camera.
yeah.
I can't. Hey, actually, I can do a frog splash. I don't know if you've seen that shit. Did you see that?
You did a frog splash,
Dude, not in a match, but like
Oh.
I was shooting a promo with Sean Logan. He's a local guy around here. He does like I think he works Anarchy or he has before or something. It doesn't matter. Glory Pro and shit.
Yeah,
But we
yeah.
were he has like a gym. He has his own gym. He has his own ring and stuff. He was trained by like Seth Rollins, so he has all these fucking hookups. And he has like a dummy, like it looks like a fucking like a blow up doll, like a sex doll, but it's not.
Yeah.
Like it's a fucking so. Yeah, he set it out for me. He's like, "Oh, do something on it." I'm like, "All right." So I did a fucking frog splash. So there you go. If you want to book me to do a frog splash, book me to do a frog splash.
You should put
Dude, it
that
was
on.
gnarly, bro. It was like RVD style. I did like hands between the legs and everything.
No shot. You have to send me
I
that.
did. I swear to God. I swear to God. I'll
You'll
send
have to send me that. That's crazy. But now this final question, really this time, is I do ask every guest this. This is the send off question. If you could give a piece of advice to anyone, what would it be? And it doesn't have to be related to your field of work. It can just be to life in general.
It's a good question for a podcast that's not about life advice.
Yeah.
Honestly, something that I've been working on more is taking a step back and taking a breath and just kind of realizing that I can only control what I can control, which is like a John Cena quote: "Control the controllable." So that's something that I've been trying to remind myself recently because, you know, you can't control everything in life. You can't control certain things in life, but you can. Some people don't have, unfortunately, the ability, but most people do have the ability to control their emotions. So it's something that I've been trying to work on more recently in my personal life. Professionally, any advice that I would have to give to anybody is the same thing I said earlier: is don't be a fucking mark. Dude, that's just how I am. Everybody that knows me, I'm blunt. Like, I'm not being an asshole. Like, I'm a realist. I'm gonna tell you how it is. Like, I didn't get to where I'm at by being a fucking mark, and you're not gonna get anywhere by being one either. So you might as well just shut up and, you know, do your job. Sound like a fucking asshole father, but you know, I'm just being real. Is that what I am now? Like, dude, that's gross. I'm like the 6-7-year-old vet in like fucking wrestling photography for I'm telling people to shut up and do their job. What the fuck?
I was gonna say it sounds like you're the vet now.
Dude, this is crazy, bro. No, I'm not. I'm still very much learning, but just really though, like in all seriousness, ask if people need help. Ask promotions. If you're trying to get booked and you don't know how, if you can't reach out to somebody, like if you do try to reach out to somebody and nobody responds, show up, buy a ticket, and then talk to somebody. You know, ask if they need help. Maybe not setting up the ring. Maybe they need help doing something else. Like anything that will get your foot in the door, take the opportunity because that's how you get into wrestling. You don't go to fucking trade school. You don't take a college course. You got to know somebody. So that's my advice is just, you know, be persistent, ask. And if nobody responds, show up, buy a ticket, and just, you know, be persistent.
Absolutely. And then if you wanted to let the people know where they can find you on social medias and at upcoming shows, if you have any coming up.
Yeah. So You can find me on Instagram at Camera Guy Gimmick, Twitter or X at Camera Guy Gimmick, but there's no C. It's Gimmick, Gimmik, because Elon Musk is a bitch. Facebook, Camera Guy Gimmick. This Saturday, freelance wrestling. There we have a double header at Logan Square Auditorium. It is sold out. Both events are sold out, but you can watch the stream on IWTV. And yeah, that's all I got next week. So that's easy.
Awesome. Anything else you want to say before we send off?
Yeah, I promise I'm not an asshole. This is just how I am, guys. Like, I don't know. You can take it for what you want, but I just say it how it is, and if you don't like it, I'm sorry, I guess. I don't know. Oh, here. Stay the fuck out of my way when I'm trying to do my job. There you go. That's the last thing I want to say.
That is a good piece of advice. Stay out of everyone's way that has a camera in their hand, honestly. Like, because I've seen, like, I haven't seen on any shows that I've been on, but I've seen some stuff like where it's I don't know.
It gets pretty rough out there for a pimp.
Well, I was gonna say you made a post not long ago because you said there was a shit ton of people at ringside at a show, like,
and it blew up, of course. Like, every time I post something that's cool, it, like, nobody gives a fuck. But when I post like something like that, it blows up. Yeah, dude. I won't say like where it was, but there was just certain promotions that they don't. I think maybe their thought is the more content, the better. Which, sure, but like, no matter what, these people are going to be shooting in the crowd if they bring their camera. So don't just let people buy the ring because they have a camera. You know, I get it. Like we were talking about earlier, you know, if you want to get in the business, you got to try, but that doesn't mean you like walk up to a ring during a show and just start doing it, because you wouldn't go to a concert and just walk up to the stage and start taking pictures. It's the same thing. You don't, you know, you gotta, that's not how you do it. You gotta apply for the fucking press pass or talk to the band's management or whatever. So, you know, it's just, people need to remember that thought process. Also, being a fan, watching a show, getting too excited, you know, I get it.
No, definitely. That's going to do it for this episode, guys. Thank you, Nick, for coming on. This was a great time. As always, you guys can leave a thumbs up or a thumbs down, 1-star, 5-star, like, comment, subscribe, do all of that or not. I don't give a shit. Peace.
Later.